Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be disassembling my 1275cc engine out of my 81 Austin Mini. What you're seeing me doing right here is actually removing the radiator. There's one bolt that holds the radiator on down there at the bottom. I'm unscrewing the top hose here to get it out of the way. Radiator's removed, dumping the old antifreeze in that bucket right there. This is where I get my shoe all wet. Okay, now I'm back with new shoes. Taking off the fan here. There's four bolts that actually hold the fan on. Fans removed. Belt and the pulleys removed. There I am removing the breather hose. And then we're there maybe removing the fuel pump. Fuel pump block. There we are, transitioning to the other side. This I'm removing the bracket that the radiator holds on. That's actually where the motor mount is as well. Remember to bag and tag everything so you know where it goes later. Dipstick coming out. Okay, now we're removing the distributor. Pull the distributor out. Okay, transition to the other side. Now we're going to do the water pump. Water pump's 4 bolts. Okay, water pump's coming out. Gotta whack it with a hammer to kind of get it loose. Pop it right out. Next thing on the list is going to be the crank pulley, which I just recently put back on there. That crank pulley is the whole reason this didn't come out. Because of the, it fell off a couple of weeks ago, and the engine had been smoking and using oil for a while, so whenever I decided to go ahead and pull it, I decided to just get a rebuild while it's out. That way I don't have to pull it a year from now to rebuild it. Okay, there's the crank pulley nut. There's me prying on the crank pulley. Hopefully it's coming out, but it didn't come out. So now I'm putting the pulley puller on it. Give it a little screw in there and it should just come right off. There you go. Okay, next thing we're going to be doing is taking the timing cover off. Here's a series of 1/2 inch and 7/16 bolts that hold that on. Okay, here I am trying to get the cover off. Giving a little bit of pry gently with a screwdriver. There you go, it's popped off. Cleaning up the oil that is spilled. Okay, next thing we're going to be doing is taking the timing gears off. See me pounding down the tab down there? Tab's pounded down. See me removing the tensioner. There goes the nut off of it. Then these were actually quite stuck on there. I was quite surprised. I actually ended up I was able to get a pickle fork underneath of it and kind of worked it up. Pickle forking it up. You can kind of tell there. You can see it moving slightly. Working the pickle fork. There you go. Working the little gear off. That pickle fork has come in handy for a little bit of everything except for what it's actually used for. Okay, got that removed. Okay, we're getting ready to transition over to the other side where we're going to be taking the primary gear cover off. I've heard that called the primary gear cover, and I've heard that called the actual punch house cover, so I don't know what James call it, but I've always called it the primary gear cover. And again, just a series of bolts. Take note that if you ever take that cover off, that the stuff that goes into the aluminum gearbox is actually a coarse thread, to where the stuff that goes in the actual engine is a fine thread. So when you're putting it back together, you know all the coarse thread bolts goes in the gearbox part, and all the fine thread bolts go in the metal part. Okay, primary gear coming off. There you go. Removing the gears. Okay. 2 bolts take the oil pump off. Oil pump comes off. There's a little gasket down in there. Make sure you get it out of there. Okay, now we're transitioning to the top to where we're going to take the gearbox off. Move the camera. Now we're out front looking at the car. These bolts are a little fiddly to get out because they're kind of in a weird place. As you can see on the back, I'm doing the same thing. You can't see me on the camera, but basically it's the same thing as the front. Like 5 bolts up front. Okay, there's the last bolt. Oh, I lied. Maybe one more. Okay, now you see me whacking on it with a hammer, trying to get it loose a little bit. I don't recommend prying on it. There you go, broke it loose. And it pops right off. It's a little heavy, I ain't gonna lie to you. Okay, now we're transitioned over to the top of the motor. We're gonna go ahead and take the head off. First thing you see me doing is removing the oil sending unit. That basically tells you if you got oil pressure or not. It's off. Same thing here, this water temperature sending unit. Spark plugs out. Now what I'm doing here is I'm actually opening up all the rocker arms so that they'll relieve the pressure off the springs. That way they're easier to get off. Okay, removing the 4 bolts that holds the rocker shaft on. Okay, removing the 4 bolts that holds the part of the head on. It holds a part of the rocker shaft on as well. Had to get the breaker bar off because they were torqued down kind of tight. Rope goes loose. Now I'm taking the little one up. Okay, rocker shaft off. Okay, next thing I'm going to be taking the push rods out. They recommend you, and I've always done this, any car I've ever took the rocker arms, or not rocker, I'm sorry, push rod tubes out. Mark them and actually put them in order. I don't understand why you really have to do that if you're rebuilding an engine, though, because most likely you'll end up getting a lot of new stuff anyway. Okay, here I am removing the remaining 5 head bolts. Working them off. The studs were actually painted where I had painted the engine back last year. I had this engine out last year rebuilding the gearbox on it because the gearbox exploded on me. I should have went ahead and rebuilt the engine when I had that out. Okay, last bolt coming off. Give it a little tap with the mallet. Pops right off. The head gasket was actually in fairly decent shape. The head looked like it had been burning a little hot, but the head gasket looked really good. Okay, now we're flipping the engine upside down. Now we're actually going to the side here. We're going to take the timing cover plate off. The only reason why I didn't do that before is because I was afraid that the cam would just drop out on the floor if I tried to do that while I was moving everything around. So I kind of wanted to wait until right up until it was about time to get the cam out to take it off. Okay, plate's off. Okay, flipping it upside down. Here what I'm doing is I'm taking a Dremel and actually marking each one of these rods to make sure that I can get them back in the same holes, so I know what actually thinking about it, I need to probably mark them on the sides too, so I know that make them so they match, so I don't get them lost. I made sure I put them back on the rods as I was dropping the pistons out, so that I knew that they were together. Okay. Number 30 out. 4 out. Okay, now we're going to take the caps off the crank. Breaking all the bolts loose real quick. Number 1 out. The center went off, and always remember that you have thrust washers that's attached to those. Don't lose those. Okay. There's number 3 out. There's the cam off. Crank, I should say. That cam. I went ahead and put those back on the engine so I wouldn't get them out, lose them. And I'm sure they need to go with the machine shop anyway whenever I take it to the machine shop, so good place to put them. I'm gonna probably go talk to the machine shop on Monday. There I am, popping the cam out. There we are, taking the cam followers off using the magnet. They basically just slide off. Okay, there's the fully disassembled engine. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and please check back because this is probably going to be the main thing on the channel for the next month or so, and then hopefully we'll get back on Project Simon soon. I'm probably going to go ahead and get a welder and start doing him on my own, but thanks for watching.